What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another live stream from the Scalar Learning channel. And first wanted to start by talking a little bit about the SAT coming up in August, because that's what this whole series is about, and just trying to prepare you guys for this upcoming test. And I have heard, now of course I'm based in California and I have some students here that are in California. I'm just trying to, just making sure my audio is good. So I have some students here, and sad to say, we have found out that their test centers have been closed, and that's a huge bummer. We've been prepping hard, and they're in, such great. They're in such great shape for this test, and it's just an unfortunate thing that it looks like the test centers are not holding it. So I'm curious to hear from you guys. I think California is going to be one of the places where, hey, what's up, Adham? What's up, Abteen? Zara, I haven't looked at the Ivy Global test. I'll have to check those next. Anyways, I'm just curious to hear from you guys what's been going on in terms of your tests. Like, have they been canceled? Have the test centers been closed? Are they generally open? And I'm hoping that a lot of people, it's still going to go down. It looks like, I think it will in a lot of places. California is just one of those places where we're getting hit a little tough. Oh, I didn't throw up the timer here. Let me throw the timer up. And by the way, I also want to know about the quality of the stream today. Like I mentioned before, I just bought the new iMac Pro because I really wanted to make sure that these streams going forward are just going to be flawless and perfect and everything like that. So please let me know in the comment section how that's going. Last but not least, let me just show you one other thing I want to share with you guys. I've got a math puzzles channel, and this is all math puzzles, brain teasers, things like that. So I'm gonna share this with you. Figure it out. Here, so I'll share this one with you guys. I don't know if you've done it yet. If you have, awesome. So you can check out my math puzzles channel. Again, I think it's not only fun, but it could be a great way to help just get your mind in shape. Fun little brain teasers and puzzles to do at the beginning of every day. And we're almost at 50 now. I started this channel in January, so I'm gonna make a few this week. I think we're at 45 or something like that. So just for fun, if you want to check that out, that'd be great. Last but not least, if you do like this video, please click that like button. It helps the channel tremendously. And again, this is day 3 of day 20. We're doing a stream every day leading up to the test, going over the original 10 practice tests from the College Board. Probably the best resources out there in terms of just the real deal, or what the SAT is going to be like. Okay, thank you guys. Oh, Kevin, I'm so sorry to hear that. Lucas, I'm so sorry to hear that. It's still on here. Okay, well, I'm hoping, BJ, that things keep going on the right path for you. Okay, here we go, guys. 25 minutes on the clock. As you know, I'm going to take this timed in real time. This is not for the first time because I've taken this test before. It has been a while, so it'll feel like an authentic test-taking experience, I believe. We are ready to rock in 5. Oops, let's do 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do it. All right. If 5x plus 6 equals 10, what is the value of 10x plus 3? So let's isolate. 5x equals 4 divided by 5, excuse me. Divide by 5. X equals 4/5. Then we want 10 times 4/5 plus 3. That cancels out to a 2. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 3 is 11. Now let's double check and make sure that works. So again, if I plug in 4/5 here, 4/5 times 5 is 4. 4 plus 6 is 10. Okay, I think we're good to go. Wait, let me just make sure. 8, yeah. Okay, 2, X system of equations. I'm going to use my favorite method, which is elimination. So we got 3x minus 2y equals 10. I'm going to multiply the top by 2. 2 times 0 is 0. Now we're going to add them up. These cancel out. 2x plus 3x is 5x equals 10 divided by 5. X equals 2. So this is out, this is out, this is out. It's got to be this. And now we're going to double check. 2 and negative 2. Yes, that's 0. 2 times 3 is 6. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4 equals 10. Boom, done. Oops. Let's go on to number 3. A landscaping company estimates the price of a job in dollars using the expression 60 plus 12 NH, where N is the number of landscapers who will be working in H. Hold on. N is the number of landscapers. H is the total number of hours the job will take. Wait, what? H is the total. Got it. Okay. Which of the following is the best interpretation of the number 12? So, like, for example, I guess if I have 5 landscapers, that would be n, and then each one would take 10 hours, right? So in that case, it would be 60 plus 12 times 10 landscapers, or whatever I said. 10 landscapers, and each one will take 5 hours. It'll take 5 hours total for the whole job. So which means everybody's working 5 hours, right? And this is the cost of the job. So what this tells me is if I've got 5 landscapers, they're all working 12. This is the cost, $12 an hour, right? Because 5 times 12 would be 60. We're paying each of them 60 per hour, and then 10 hours, paying them 600. So the 12 is probably the cost per hour. That's got to be that. Minimum 12. Nope. Price of every job. Nope. Wait. Actually, wait. The price of every job increases. No, not necessarily. It increases by $12. Yeah, maybe it is every hour, but per landscaper. Nope, definitely not. Number 4, which of the following is equivalent to the expression above? Okay, can we simplify? Nope, we're factoring. All right, this is going to factor like this. So I've got 3a squared here. And I've probably, if this is a perfect square, then I've got 2b squared. So why did I do that? Because I'm just looking at the front term and the back term. This times this equals 9a to the 4th. I'm kind of guessing. I'm assuming that this is going to work out, and I believe it will. And then the back, I got 2b squared times 2b squared gives me that. The only thing I can do next is plus, and then hope that the middle term works out. This would give me 6a squared b squared, 6a squared b squared. It does indeed. And we see that this is a perfect square. It's the same thing repeated both times. So it can be shortened to that. 3a squared plus, just make sure I don't make any silly mistakes. These are out, right? 3a plus 2b. No, this, no. And this is it. Number 5, if k is greater than 0 and x equals 7 in the equation above, k is greater than 0, x equals 7. So plug in 7 for x, 2k squared plus 17 minus 7 equals 0, square root of that. Add 7 to both sides. Squared plus 17 equals 7, square both sides. We get 2k squared plus 17 equals 49. So I'm just isolating, right? Subtract 17. Then I get 32 equals 2k squared divided by 2. K squared equals 16. Square root. K equals plus or minus 4, but they only want the positive value, and boom, done. Now let's plug it in to make sure. 4 squared is 16 times 2 is 32 plus 17 is 49. Square root of 49 is 7 minus 7 does indeed equal 0. Boom, done. Number 6. In the xy plane above, line L is parallel to line K. Let's do a little parallel markings. Boom, boom. What is the value of P? So they have the same slopes. So let's calculate the slope of the first one. 2 minus 0, difference of the y's, over 0 minus negative 5, which is 5, difference of the x on the bottom, equals 0 minus negative 4, which is positive 4, over P minus 0, which is P. Cross multiply and solve for P. 2P equals 20, divide by 2, divide by 2. P equals 10. Now let's double check. So I already know the slope here is 2/5 up to over 5. And then if this is 10 for P, it would be up 4 over 10, which is 2/5 if we reduce it. Number 7. So the a squared equals that. Okay. And a plus b equals 2. First, I immediately am going to go into what I know about exponents. When I have the same base on top of the same base, it's a subtraction problem of the exponent. So it becomes x a squared minus b squared. Not even going to think about anything until we do that. Now I've got it in this format. Then they tell us that a plus b equals 2. Well, what is this? This is a difference of squares. So again, I'm using my instincts to guide me. I'm saying, well, if I can factor, I'm going to factor, and that's it. I'm not even going to think too deeply about it. It's a plus b times a minus b. That's how we factor a difference of squares. Equals x to the 16th. Now we can take this information and plug that in. That's just a 2. X equals 2 times a minus b equals x to the 16th. Same base. Let's get rid of these guys. 2 times a minus b equals 16. We're only trying to find a minus b, not a and b. So divide by 2. By 2. This equals 8. Right? 8. And I think that's really all we need to know. Let me just make sure, double check. That's 8, that's 2, that's 16. Yeah, we're good. Oops. The measure A in degrees of an exterior angle of a regular polygon is related to the number of sides and the polygon by the formula above. If the measure of an exterior angle of a regular polygon is greater than 50, so that's A. If A is greater than 50, what is the greatest number of sides it can have? Let's plug in 50. So 50n equals 360 divided by 50. 0, 0. Any number divided by 5, the trick is move the decimal, double it and move the decimal over. So it's 7.2. It's probably 7. Hold on. If it's greater than 50. Yeah, because if it's 52, no. Hold on. 51 and 3/7. Okay, what am I talking about? So the greatest it can have is 7, right? And then the degree measure, I'm going to show you why this is in a second. We divide by 7, divide by 7. The degree measure would be 51 and 3/7. That's what 360 divided by 7 is. You don't need to know that. You just need to know that you can't have 7.2 sides, right? So, and it's just the number of sides as the angle increases is going to go down. You can imagine if this was 360, the number of sides would be 1. Obviously, that's not a polygon, but if the number of, for example, if the angle of the exterior was 120, that's the biggest it could go for a polygon, then the sides would be 3, because then we're talking about a triangle. So you know, as this value goes up, the sides are going to go down. So it can't go up to 8. It can only go to 7, and that would occur exactly when it's 51 and 3/7 for the exterior angles. Hope that made sense. Number 9, the graph of a line in the xy plane has a slope of 2 and contains the point 1 and 8. So I'm going to immediately put this into point slope. Okay. Graph of a second line passed through the points 1, 2, and 2, 1. So we're trying to find the intersection point, and I've got one line already. This is basically a system of linear equations. What's my second one? Again, let's calculate the slope. y1 minus y2, 2 minus 1, over 1 minus 2, which is negative 1. So this one has a slope of negative 1, and using point slope, I'll choose arbitrarily this one. Y minus 2 equals a slope of negative 1 times x minus 1. Now we have our two equations. Trying to find the point at where they intersect. I would like to get these into slope-intercept form. That's where I'm comfortable. So distribute, and it's 2x minus 2 equals y minus 8. And then I'm going to add 8, and I've got y equals 2x plus 6. What about this one? Distribute. I've got y minus 2 equals negative x plus 1. Add 2 to both sides. Y equals negative x plus 3. Right? Adding 2. Okay. Now we're going to combine using elimination. So I'm going to negate, and then combine like terms. Cancel. We get 0 equals negative 3x minus 3. Add 3 to both sides. 3 equals negative 3x. X equals negative 1. So I know my a value is negative 1. What's my my b value or y value? I can plug it into either equation. So negative 1 here becomes positive 1 plus 3 is 4. So y equals 4. If I want the sum of this, negative 1 plus 4 is 3. Now I'm going to double check. Make sure negative 1 comma 4 works for both equations. So here we already know it works. Here, if I plug in negative 1, let's do it before I negated. It would be negative 1 times 2 is negative 2 plus 6 is indeed 4. So I feel good about that. Negative 1, 4. The sum is 3. 10. Which of the following equations has a graph in the xy plane for which y is always greater than or equal to negative 1. Okay. This would not, because when x is 0, y is negative 2. Goodbye. When x is 0, y is negative 2. When x is 0, it's this one. This one, and I'll explain why in a second. Again, when x is 0, it's negative 2. So we can basically disprove a, b, and d. This one is a parabola going up with a vertex at 2, 0. I can tell you that from either vertex form, or I know that this is a transformation 2 units to the right when I subtract it from the x. So it'll never go actually below 0. So that's it. Numero, was that 10? Numero 11. Which of the following complex numbers is equivalent to this. The short and simple of these types of problems, whenever you see imaginary in the denominator, you notice all these have rational or real numbers in the denominator. So our main objective is to simply get rid of that denominator, and that we do that by multiplying by the conjugate. So the conjugate is really special. It's the same thing as this, except we flip it with a minus sign. Now let's multiply the top out. Distribute, right? Foiling. 3 times 8 is 24. 3 times negative 2i is negative 6i. Negative 5i times 8 is minus 40i. Just make sure I'm not making any mistakes. And then negative 5 times negative 2 is positive 10i squared. But what is I squared? I squared is negative 1, but we'll get back to that. Then on the bottom, we've got 8 times 8 is 64. Then we'll have 8 times negative 2 is negative 16i. Then we have positive 16i. Lo and behold, the i's cancel out, so I don't even write those middle terms. You can if you want. Then I have 2i times negative 2i, which is minus 4i squared. And again, I squared is negative 1. Let's combine these guys. I get 24 minus 46i. And then what's 10 times negative 1? Negative 10. Look how that simplifies. And on the bottom, this is really helpful because I don't want imaginary in the bottom. That becomes 64 minus negative 4, which is just a plus. Simplify further. 24 minus 10 is 14. Whoops. 14 minus 46i over 64 plus 4 is 68. Divide everything by 2. 7 minus 23i over 34. And we can't simplify further than that. And it is this one. 7 minus 23i. They just broke into two fractions, but you can see it's the same thing. And that is it. We are done. Numero 12. A website uses the formula above to calculate a sale. It is an isolating quantities question, so I don't care about any of this. We need to isolate f. First, multiply both sides by n plus f. R times n plus f equals f. Let's distribute r. And I'm just trying to get the f's together. Rn plus rf. And you might say, oh, we had the f's together, but they were on opposite sides of that fraction. That's no good. Equals f. Now I'm going to subtract by rf. Rn equals f minus rf. Now I can factor. Now I factor out the f. And I get 1 minus r. Because if I redistributed, right, I get f minus rf. So I know that's correct. Last but not least, divide both sides by 1 minus r. You see this? And we are good to go. It's Rn over 1 minus r. Boom, done. Wait, yes, not r minus 1. Hold on, let me just make sure I didn't mess that up. 1 minus r. Yes, correctos. Number 13. What is the sum of all the values m that satisfy this? Let's try it. First, let's divide. Oh, wait a minute. I always forget this formula, and now I remembered it. It's a shortcut. The sum of the values, sum of the solutions is negative b over a, which is 16 over, negative 16 over 2, which is 8. Yay. But I'm going to show you how you can do it if you forget that formula. We're running low on time, by the way. 10 minutes is not great at this point, so I would like to go on, but I just want to show you if you didn't do it that way. Divide everything by 2, m squared minus 8m plus 4, and then you use the quadratic formula. Negative b plus or minus, because it's infactorable, square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a, which is 2. And then that's 64 minus 16, which is 48. 8 plus or minus square root of 48 over 2. And it doesn't matter about simplifying that because you're just adding 8 plus square root of 48. 8 minus square root of 48 over 2. When you add these together, those cancel. That becomes 16 over 2, which is 8. All right. Finally, remember that. People tell me all the time. What about negative b over a for the sum of the solutions? Now I remember. Radioactive substance decays at an unusual rate of 13%. So it's decaying at 13%, meaning every year we got 87% left. That's what we should see in an exponential equation, which we have down here, which I already know the answer is going to be a. But if the initial amount of the substance is 325, initial value should come up here, which would eliminate these two. Which of the following functions would be the amount remaining in t years? This would be an 87% decay or decrease every year, so it's wrong. Number 15, we got to hustle, 845. The expression above is equivalent to which of the following? This is division, so we're going to do a little long division. X goes into 5x 5 times. Actually, I usually like to write it over here. 5 times that is 5x plus 15. And we subtract, cancel. Negative 2 plus negative 15 is negative 17. So that's my remainder. So it's minus 17 over x plus 3. The remainder goes over the divisor. And it is this one. All right, moving on. 16. The sales manager of a company awarded a total in 3,000 in bonuses to the most productive salespeople. Bonuses were awarded in either 250 or 750. If at least one 250 and at least one 750 were awarded, so that is already at 1,000. What is one possible number for 250 bonuses? Let's just pretend they gave another one. What is one possible? So that's 2,000 now. And why don't we do it again? Why isn't this feasible? 3, right? There's my 3,000. So they gave 3 $250 bonuses. What else could we have done? We could have also been like 1 here and then 4 and 4. So 9 would have been an option. We also could have done 1 and then another 750 and then 5. So 6. So 3, 6, or 9. But we'll go with 3. Number 17. The equation above A, B, and C are constants. The equation is true for all if the equation is true. Meaning, if the equation is true, meaning both left and right sides are equal. What I always do in this is distribute, and then match them up. 6x squared plus 10x plus 9x plus 15 equals that. Combine like terms. 6x squared plus 19x plus 15 equals that. So that means A is 6 because it matches up with that. B is 15. Oh, it's 19. That's it. Just make sure I didn't make a mistake. B is that term. Yeah, it's 19. And C is, of course, 15, but whatevs. Doesn't matter. 18, the figure above AE and CD are parallel. That's nice. And I also know these angles are congruent. And I know these angles are congruent because they're alternate interior, and so are these. AKA, these two triangles are similar. And segment AD intersects C. Okay, great. What is the length of segment CE? Which is this whole thing here. Okay, similar triangles, and I can see that corresponding sides, that across the double angle and that across the double angle, it's half. That means this one must be 4, all right? And which means that CE is 4 plus 8, which is 12. Done. Mark it up, just like a puzzle. That's what I always say. Fill in the missing things, even if they're not asking about them. Just whatever conclusion you can draw, fill it in, write it down. 19, in the XY plane above, O is the center of the circle, and the measure of AOB is pi over A. AOB. Radians. What is the value of A? Got it. What do I see? What am I always looking for in circle problems? A hidden triangle problem. And there's my hidden triangle. And it happens to be a right angle. And might be a special right triangle. Probably is. Because if square root of 3 is this value, that means it's coming across by square root of 3. That means that bottom leg is square root of 3. That means this leg here is 1 because it's going up by 1. Guess what? This is a 30, 60, 90 because the smallest side here times square root of 3 is square root of 3. That's this side. That means this side must be 2. You see that? And so this angle is opposite the smallest, which means it's 30 degrees. It's the 30. But we're in radians. How do I convert degrees to radians? Multiply by pi over 180, which reduces to 3 over 18, which is 1/6. Therefore, A is 6. And that's it. We are done. Now we go to number 20. In the system equation above, A and B are constants. The system has infinitely many solutions. What is the value of A over B? First of all, what does that mean? Infinitely many means these equations are identical. Well, if that's the case, the best way to sort of approach this, in my opinion, is multiply the top one by 5. That way my constants will be equivalent, and I can see exactly what A and B are relative to these values. So multiply the top one by A, I get 5AX plus 5BY equals 60. Now I know two things. I know that 5A must equal 2, and I know that 5B must equal 8. You see that? This links to that. This links to that. All right. And I want A over B, right? So the best way to do this is, hold on, because we're going to get fractions. So A equals 2/5, B equals 8/5, and I want A over B, so 2/5 over 8/5, and then that's like dividing a fraction. It's like multiplying by the reciprocal by 5/8. Cancel, cancel. 2/8 equals 1/4. I didn't even need to do that. I just realized I could have literally just done, it's the same as this over this. 2/8 is 1/4. But anyways, that's just sort of my approach, and I just roll with what I feel like makes sense just from a pure mathematical standpoint. All right, there we are, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to stop the clock right there, and we got 3 minutes to spare. Now, if you're taking this for real, of course, you'd use that time to actually go through your answers and make sure you didn't make any mistakes, but that's it. So now we're going to check the answers, and then I'll go through, I shall go through things as need be based on questions. Let's see, scoring key. Reading, writing. Let's go. Hold on. Oh, man. So, like, certain things I'm noticing on this computer, which are amazing, like, there's just no glitching. I mean, it's just so smooth, which is great. So I'm glad you guys talked me into getting a new computer. Okay, ready? CBAA. Boom, 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 boom. Next is CDAC. CDAC. So far, so good. 9 is BCCB. 13 is DAD. All right, beautiful. So far, so good. Now we get to 16 through the free response. Okay. 3, 6, or 9, I put 3. That is correct. And 17, I put 19. That is correct. 12, 6, and 1/4. Yeah, we got them all. All right, let's see questions. So first of all, we've got, let me look. I got a lot of people on here. By the way, guys, once again, thank you so much for joining. And if you did like this, please click that like button. It helps me out so much when you do that, and I really, really appreciate it. And of course, you're always welcome to subscribe if you haven't yet. My August SAT got canceled. Do you tutor online? Yes, I do. I do tutor online. You're welcome to message me at huzaifa@scalarlearning.com. Let me put that up here. There's my email. Okay. How can you find out? Usually call your test center. That's what my students did. And then eventually they got notifications later. You finally got into a live stream. What's up? Yeah, I'm trying to do better at putting out the time earlier. Could you explain how you did 4 that quickly? Sure. Let's see. So number 4 was just a straight up factoring problem. Okay. We have these variables. I know this actually, I mean, it's not as, it is hard. Don't get me wrong. But I sort of made the assumption, okay, watch this. A better way to do this if you don't want to, if you're not as comfortable with factoring, I could immediately eliminate stuff, right? Because I can see that this is going to give me 81a to the 4th. That's out. This is going to give me, it's eventually my leading term is going to be 9 to the 4th, which is humongous. I don't know what it is, in the almost 7,000 or something, to the a to the 4th. So that's out. Now it's down to these two. This is a problem because when I can see that it's going to be 4 of these, so I know my leading term is going to be 3a to the 4th. That's 81a to the 4th. That's out. This is the only viable option because we're squaring this, so I know my leading term. So just on that basis, you could have gotten this. You didn't need to do all that work. So you could do it even faster, to be honest, than I did it. Now that I'm watching, but when I do it, I procrastinate. Well, stop procrastinating. Practice, practice, practice. That's how I got as fast as I did. Can you explain number 9? Sure. The graph of a line in the xy plane has slope. Okay, this is all about point slope. So first I say it has a slope of 2 and contains the point 1,8. So I said, all right, what's point slope? Y minus the y value of that coordinate equals slope times x minus the x coordinate of that point. And then I did the same thing for the second one, but first I calculated the slope. Another way to calculate slope is I like to say I stack the coordinates and subtract. subtract vertically. So it's 1 minus 2 is -1. 2 minus 1 is 1. Remember, y is going on top, x is going on the bottom. Now I got the slope, which is -1. Then I'm going to choose a second point. Just that one or that one, but I went with that. Y minus 2, the y value, equals -1 times x minus 1. Now I got my equations. This is just a system of equations. You can solve it by using either elimination or substitution. I chose elimination, but it's very well you could have done it with substitution once you got them into slope-intercept form. What's up, Louise? Yeah, I used -b over a. I'm so excited about that. Okay. All right, guys, I am running close to the end of time because I got to get ready for my next appointment. Wow, taught me as a kid I'd probably be the next Elon. Yo, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've never heard of Excel Academy. Kaplan, I have checked those, but it's not great. I think Princeton Review is not bad because it's very similar to the real one, to these ones, actually. And I would also say College Panda is so underrated. Khan Academy is pretty good. Just be careful. Levels 3 and 4 and the practice problems are actually harder. Dr. Chung, I've actually done them all on my channel. I do think there's a disconnect between Dr. Chung and the real thing. I'd say on average they're harder, but they don't do enough justice in terms of giving you a lot of good word problems. That's my issue. Like long ones and multi-part ones. So anyways, that's all good, and that is it for today's live stream. Again, I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please click that like button, and if you want to see more, make sure to click subscribe. Thank you guys so much. This is part 3 of 20. We're doing 20 days of streams in a row, blasting through all these tests, so join in every day. I'm going to get you ready for those of you who can take this August SAT. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video. Take it easy.